Welcome back everyone to another Anime Villainous how-to video. I am, as ever, Chaos in the Sky, and today we'll be looking at how to play as Dahlia Hawthorne from Ace Attorney in Anime Villainous. Dahlia Hawthorne is an innocent young woman that gets dragged into multiple court cases by no fault of her own. Constantly treated poorly by cruel attorneys and the like, she's nothing but an unfortunate victim of circumstance. That's what she'd like you to believe, anyway, as it's all a front put up by this cold, cruel mastermind. In actuality, Dalia is a self-serving woman who seeks only her own satisfaction and cares little for whoever she harms in the process, even going so far as to see murder as a means to an end. Dalia is a conniving woman who only cares about herself, and so her objective in Anime Villainous is to attach the diamond to herself, getting away with the 2 million it's worth. Doing this takes a bit of work, so let's look at the diamond first and foremost. The diamond is a 4-cost item with 2 abilities. First is that, at any time, if there are 6 allies in the charm pile, you may attach Diamond to Dalia. This, of course, completes your objective. So the bulk of what you'll be doing as Dalia is getting allies into the charm pile. She does have exactly 6 allies, by the way, so you have to get every single one of them charmed. The second ability of the diamond is that if it is attached to Dalia, then the amount of strength that heroes lose is increased by 1. This means during showdown, Dalia can weaken heroes even faster than usual, letting her close out her showdown more effectively. Dalia doesn't vanquish, she only defeats heroes through weakening them, then clashing, aside from a one-off defeat effect, so this is very important for her endgame. So how do we get our allies into this charm pile, you ask? With Dahlia's villain ability, of course. Once per turn, you may choose a 0-strength ally at your location, discard them, and then put them into the charm pile. Simple enough, you play the allies, you weaken them to 0, then you use your ability to get them into the charm pile. Now that we know how the allies get into the charm pile, let's look at the allies themselves. They all have a lot of similarities. They all have 3 strength, they all cost either 1 or 2 power, and they all have abilities that trigger whenever you place a -1 strength token on them. Important to note is that their abilities only trigger when you place a -1 strength token, not just whenever they lose strength, so they can't trigger their abilities anymore once they're at 0 strength. Let's look at them in pairs, starting with Valerie and Doug. Valerie's ability is that when you place a -1 strength token on her, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You may put 1 into your hand, and then shuffle the rest into your deck. Very useful for Dalia to hunt down cards that she wants quickly, which is great especially when you need all 6 of your allies. Doug's ability is that when a -1 strength token is placed on him, you choose up to 2 non-effect cards from your discard pile, and then shuffle them into your deck. Dalia, as we'll see later, has a lot of very good schemes and items, so this ability can let her get them back in her deck cycle very easily. Our second pair of allies are Terry and Phoenix. Terry's ability is that when a -1 strength token is placed on him, you may place a -1 strength token on each hero at the same location as Terry. This one speaks for itself, a great way to not only progress your objective, but weaken down heroes that are giving you trouble into clash range. Phoenix's ability when a -1 strength token is placed on him has you reveal the top card of your deck, gain power equal to its cost, up to 2 power total, then shuffle it back into your deck. Dalia has a mix of cards ranging from 0 to 2, with 1 card at 3 cost and another at 4, so Phoenix can really rack up some power for you, or end up giving you little to none. It's all in the heart of the cards for that one. The last pair of allies are Pain and Edgeworth, with similar abilities. Pain's is that when a -1 strength token is placed on him, you may perform a move action. Move actions can help Dalia a lot, as we'll soon see with her other cards, so Pain is an ally that you want to make good use of. Edgeworth's ability is that when a -1 strength token is placed on him, you may perform a play a card action. Potentially Dalia's favorite ally to have, as she has a lot of cards she wants to be playing. Edgeworth can let her rack up a lot of card plays in a single turn before he ends up into the charm pile. That's all 6 of our allies accounted for. Next we're going to look at Dalia's items, which she also has 6 of, excluding Diamond, which will help get these allies into the charm pile. We'll start off with Camera and Cold Killer Z. Camera makes it where each time you play a scheme, if Dalia is at the same location as Camera, you may choose an ally or a hero. That ally or hero then loses 1 strength. Dalia has many schemes, as we'll see later, so Camera is one of her best tools to weaken her allies and heroes. Another strong contender for her best tools, however, is Cold Killer Z, which has it where after an ally or hero is played or moved to its location, that ally or hero loses 1 strength. A great way to defend a location and work on weakening your allies. Exactly what Dalia wants. The next 2 items are a little more complex: Scarf and Bottle Necklace. When Scarf is moved, you may choose up to 1 ally or hero at its new location for each scheme that you control. Then they each lose 1 strength. As mentioned, Dalia has many schemes, so it'll be common for her to have 1 or 2 in play at a time. This means Scarf is just 1 move action to weaken at least 1 ally or hero, if not multiple. especially good if you have 2 or 3 allies all put together at one spot. Do make sure you keep in mind that Scarf only works when it is moved, not when it is played. Dahlia's next item is Bottle Necklace, which is one of my personal favorites. When Bottle Necklace is played or moved, you may attach it to any character at its new location. This means it can be attached to an ally, hero, or Dahlia, so you can easily pass it around just by moving whatever character it's attached to at the time. At the end of your turn, if Bottle Necklace is attached to an ally or hero, so not Dahlia, that ally or hero loses 1 strength. At 3 cost, Bottle Necklace is a pretty big buy-in, but it does great at weakening allies or heroes steadily, and being able to pass it around to another character when you've gotten someone low enough on strength makes it incredibly useful. There are 2 more items Dahlia has, and although these don't involve strength loss, they're very useful for her. Umbrella and Kidnap Note. For Umbrella, once per turn, if Dahlia is at its location, you may perform 1 non-fate action covered by a hero at that location. As mentioned earlier, Dahlia's main way of defeating heroes is clashing them, which with her having just 1 strength, usually means it'll take her a second to weaken them for said clash. Umbrella is a big help in getting back some action economy until she can get those kills. Kidnap Note, meanwhile, is an item that attaches to Dahlia. It makes it where before Dahlia moves on her turn, you may pay 1 power and choose an ally or hero at her location. Then, after Dahlia moved, you move that ally or hero to your new location. This is a very strong tool for Dahlia as it allows her to manipulate not just her allies, but even her heroes. It combos incredibly well with Cold Killer Z and Bottle Necklace also. With all the items done, let's move on to Dahlia's effects. We'll start with Innocent Demeanor and Love at First Sight. Innocent Demeanor lets you choose up to 2 non-Dahlia characters at your location. Those characters then lose 1 strength. Another good strength loss option for Dahlia, and versatile as well. Really good for when you have both a hero and ally at your location and want to be able to hit them both, let alone if you have 2 allies. The other effect, Love at First Sight, lets Dahlia gain 2 power, plus 1 if there is exactly 1 ally at her location. A classic power gain card which Dahlia appreciates, and if just having the 1 ally present, even better. Dahlia has 2 more effects that both deal with heroes. First is Villainous in Disguise, an effect with 2 abilities. It lets you choose a hero at a location other than Dahlia's, and that hero then loses 1 strength. Simple and good, weakening heroes so you can deal with them. The second half is what really helps Dahlia though. Villainous lets you discard a scheme you control to then clash with a hero at a location other than Dahlia's. So when you play Villainous in Disguise, you get to weaken a hero, and then if you have a scheme in play, you can discard that scheme to clash with that very same hero, or even another one, so long as they aren't at Dahlia's location. Great to deal with heroes that are a bit too out of your way and clean up Showdown. The last effect is Deep Deep Sleep, which just defeats a hero at Dahlia's location. Short, sweet, and simple. It handles a hero that's not even weakened and gives Dahlia immediate access to the actions the hero was covering, assuming there aren't 2 heroes present. Now we're finally going to get to Dahlia's schemes we've heard so much about. We'll start with You Trust Me and Cry of Distress. You Trust Me is a fun one. It triggers when the targeted player reveals 2 or more fate cards from a fate deck, and has Dahlia choose a fate card from it that can be played. If the one who triggered You Trust Me plays the card that Dahlia chose, she gains 2 power. This is neat as it can either just be power gain as you choose the fate card that's obviously going to be played, or you can try to manipulate your opponent by picking a card to make them consider playing the other one to avoid giving you the 2 power. It's a neat scheme that has a bit of cleverness potential built in. Cry of Distress, our next scheme, is a little tricky also. It triggers whenever the targeted player plays a hero from Dahlia's fate deck to a location other than Dahlia's own. This means when the opponent fates you and pulls a hero, if they want to avoid triggering it, they have to play that hero to your current location, which may not be their favorite. Once triggered, Cry of Distress lets Dahlia choose a card from her discard pile and put it into her hand. Great for getting back those effects that Doug can't shuffle in, or any other immediately important card. Dahlia has 2 more schemes to look at, Friendly Meeting and Angel of Heck, as I call it. Friendly Meeting triggers whenever the targeted player moves to a location that has an ally. Once triggered, it lets Dahlia choose a hero in her territory to lose 1 strength. Dahlia is all about strength loss, since aside from Deep Deep Sleep she can only clash, so the weaker she can make heroes, the better. Which is why Angel of Heck works how it does. It triggers after the targeted player plays a scheme onto Dahlia, but only if Dahlia then has 2 or more schemes controlled by opponents on her, including the one just played. It's a fairly unlikely trigger, but that can work in Dahlia's favor, as she likes to have a scheme out for Villainous in Disguise and Scarf. Once it does trigger, it causes each hero in Dahlia's territory to lose 1 strength. A bigger sweep than Friendly Meeting, so it can really help Dahlia get out of a bad situation when she's swamped with heroes. Dahlia's final card is her form, False Identity. False Identity makes it where during your turn, you may treat any number of available actions at your location as play-a-card actions. This is a very unique ability, as it essentially means that you can take a move action or gain power at your location, and instead of using it to gain power or move, you can use it to play another card. Dahlia has a lot of items and allies to play, and effects and schemes she wants to use, so more playa cards is always welcome. The discard condition for False Identity is that at the end of your turn, if you defeated a hero or have 0 power, you discard False Identity. It's very easy to get out of the form, and for good reason, because Dahlia can't put any allies into the charm pile without her base ability. So you'll be glad that discarding the form is on Dahlia's terms and easy to do. And so we move on to the Fate deck. Let's start with Dahlia's 2 strongest heroes, who even have matching abilities, Mia and Diego. Mia is a 4 strength hero, and her ability is that when she's played or moved by an opponent, they get to remove up to 1 -1 strength token from each ally at her new location. This naturally sets Dahlia back on her progress, as she needs those allies at 0 strength. It does potentially let Dahlia then use those allies' abilities some more, but that's normally not worth the loss of progress. Diego on the flip side is also 4 strength, but his ability is that when he's played or moved by an opponent, you remove up to 1 -1 strength token from each hero at his new location. This of course is very annoying for Dahlia, who gets her kills almost exclusively by clashing, and Diego will make that more difficult to accomplish. Next we have 2 3 strength heroes, Grossberg, and then the greatest Ace Attorney character to ever do it, the realest, the sickest, my AA GOAT, ya boy Gumshoe. Anyway, Grossberg, when played or moved by an opponent, makes it where Dahlia must reveal her hand. The one playing or moving Grossberg then gets to choose a card that was revealed and shuffle it back into Dahlia's deck, which can really delay her in some cases. My boy Gumshoe, when played or moved by an opponent, lets the one doing so choose an item with a cost of 3 or less at Goatshoe's new location, and then put it into Dahlia's hand, so he can handle any item other than the diamond. As mentioned, Dahlia has a lot of cards to play, so having Dick, the slickest detective around, Gumshoe, force her to replay an item, especially something pricey like Bottle Necklace, is a major pain. He really is the best. The last 2 heroes in Dahlia's Fate deck are the Judge and Iris. Iris is simple. When she's played or moved by an opponent, Dahlia loses 2 power. Pretty much always a negative, as Dahlia likes to play her more expensive cards, so Iris can really mess up her turns by leaving her short on power. Then we have the Judge, who when played can move any number of other characters at his location to any locations. Important things to note here. First, the Judge is the only hero who doesn't trigger on being moved, only when he's played. Second, the Judge's ability specifies other characters, so he can't move himself once played, unlike some other heroes from other villains' Fate decks. Third, he says any number, so you can choose some characters to move and some to leave, and this includes Dahlia, as she is a character. And finally, his beard is just so well maintained. Look at how majestic that is, no wonder he keeps his job. Well, that's all the heroes, so next up we have the 3 effects of Dahlia's Fate deck: Unlucky Encounter, Broken Trust, and Unmasked. Unlucky Encounter lets the Fater either move a hero to any location, triggering all those potential on-move abilities, or if there are no heroes in Dahlia's territory, they can reveal cards from the top of her Fate deck until they reveal a hero. They can then play that hero and discard the rest of the revealed cards. This is how your opponents will reposition heroes and re-trigger their abilities, as well as guarantee a hero pull if there isn't already a hero in play, since Dahlia's Fate deck only has 6 heroes in it. After that, we have Unmasked, which lets the one playing it either discard Dahlia's form, an item with a cost of 3 or less from Dahlia's territory, which is any item except Diamond, or a scheme controlled by Dahlia. A very versatile card that can get rid of whatever Dahlia's best available card at the time is, which can really set her back since she'll have to either use Doug or Cry of Distress to get that card back. Then we have Broken Trust, which is the opposite of Innocent Demeanor. It lets the Fate choose up to 2 non-Dahlia characters to both gain 1 strength. This of course can buff heroes to make them harder to kill, or allies to make it harder to get them into the charm pile, neither of which Dahlia appreciates. Something important to realize about Broken Trust, by the way, is how it works with allies that are at 3 or more strength. It will give those allies a +1 strength token, meaning that when Dahlia then has them lose strength and remove that +1 strength token, she won't be able to use their abilities, because she didn't place a -1 strength token, she just removed a +1 strength token. It isn't exactly a common occurrence, but Dahlia hates it whenever it happens to come up. Objection! We still have the final card to cover, Dahlia's challenge, Objection. With Objection in play, each time a hero is played or moved in Dahlia's territory, that hero then gains 1 strength. This happens even if Dahlia moves the hero with Kidnap Note, so it's a constant annoyance for her. To get rid of Objection, when Dahlia would clash with a hero, she may discard Objection instead of clashing. But then that hero gains 2 strength, putting them back up above Dahlia's clash range, so she'll have to weaken them again. It's a hard discard condition to justify accomplishing, but when you know more heroes will get played or moved in the future, it's typically worth taking the time to do. That's all for Dahlia's how-to. A seemingly innocent girl who would of course do no harm. You'll have to charm your allies and defeat your heroes to get away with the $2 million diamond heist and get to live the high life. If you have any questions about Dahlia, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer. Also look at the description for the playlist to see all the other anime villainous how-to videos so you can learn about any other characters that interest you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you again for more anime villainous videos in the future. Until then, farewell.